So if you're just joining, remember to drop your name and where you're joining us from. And one more important thing, if you're yet to register for the hackathon, remember to do that today. So we also provide a link to do that. And one very important thing also is the fact that we'll also be getting your feedback today. So in like 2 minutes now we'll be starting. So just ensure that you pick all the relevant links that will be dropping in the chat today so that you can, one, give us your feedback based on this training. And as well, we'll also be looking forward to you joining the hackathon. Just register with the link that we'll provide today. And don't forget also to join the Telegram platform. It's very important. In like a minute's time now, we'll be starting. All right, everyone. So we're going to start right now. So you're all welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you again at this final day of the lecture series. So it's been all around geospatial analysis training using mobility data for health solutions in Africa. And this is lecture 9. We've gone through about eight lectures already. And then this is the final one. Like we mentioned to you, it's a 3-week training. And then we started just like that. And here we are on the final day. So lecture 9 will be looking at aggregating and sharing your solution. So we've gone through about 3 sessions where, about 2 sessions already, showing you how you could actually share your solution to final consumers. So we also believe that today you'll be seeing, another steps to do that again, whereby you're also able to share your solution to people that will eventually consume the solution. So with this, I would like to just quickly bring to your notice some of the, the timelines and then some of the important dates that you need to put in your mind as we proceed into the hackathon itself. So first thing on the list is just to kind of remind you that we've had this session, which was the masterclass kickoff and the formal briefing, which held on the 18th of November, 2022, if you remember. And if you are not part of it, we also have a link to that in case you want to just go back to look at what happened then. So we can also share the link with you on the chat and maybe via email as part of the content that goes out to you over the week. Now, the second thing is the fact that the hackathon registration is ongoing. We will provide a link in both English and also for the French speakers. So you can look forward to that link on the chat. And then you will also see it on the screen shortly. So please make sure you register.
Good morning from wherever you're joining us from. I think Abel has a network glitch. So let's just give him a few minutes to join us back. And if he doesn't, I will have to share my screen and take off from where he stopped. And yeah, so this is basically a confirmation or a repetition of all that we know. Okay, so I think he has left the call. Apologies for that. Is a network glitch. So let me just find my own screen and share. Please confirm that you can see my screen. I'll also share my video. Okay, so I will just continue from where he stopped. Okay, why is this not moving? Okay. So, and he was talking about hackathon registration is currently ongoing. I will just have to share my screen. All right. Okay. Morning from wherever you are joining us from once again. I will be your tutor for today. My name is Chinazo, and the apologies for the network glitch on Abel's side. So I will just take off from where he stops. The hackathon registration is ongoing. Remember, you can form your teams. You can, work as an individual, whatever works for you. But we advise you work as a team so that each person can bring their different knowledge. So before this week, before the end of today, we'll send you emails on your mentors. We'll give you a list of mentors that you can reach out to help you build your solution and to ensure that your solutions are in line with the objectives of the hackathon. And if you have any questions, you can ask them. So the next timeline is, okay, so the next on our timeline is solution submission deadline. So that will be on the 22nd of December. So we've extended that so that you have a lot of time to build your solution. Okay, and then next is the in-country workshop. So that will be the grand finale. So the plan is that we're going to have finale or in-country workshop for Kenya, Senegal, and South Africa. What this means is that the winners, the best solutions for each of these countries will be announced at the in-country workshop. So further details will be sent via the mails of those that have registered for the hackathon, not those that have registered for the classes. There are two different things. So if you're interested in participating in the hackathon, we've provided the knowledge for you. You can now fill the form because every information about the hackathon will be sent to the email addresses of those that have registered for the hackathon. So what the in-country workshop will do is to announce the winners. So, it's going to be a big event. You can come with your friends so that they can hype you. So the winners will be announced in the different countries. And then the grand finale will not be on the 20th of January. So that one will have to take place in Nigeria. So all the participants from other countries will dial in. And then the winner for Nigeria will be announced as well as the overall best. So whoever the overall best solution will be announced. And then if the person is not in Nigeria, we'll find a way to send their prizes across to them. So this is the timeline of events. And also remember to join our Africa Geoportal group. There you will get credit to do your analysis. You will get ArcGIS Pro licenses to do your analysis. So our hackathon registration is still ongoing. Very few people have registered. So if you prefer to register in French, that's for our Senegalese participants. You can choose the French link. And if you prefer to register in English, you can use the English link. Okay, so we have a feedback form today that will be dropping while the class is ongoing, and then you can fill your feedback, the places where you think we need to improve, all of that stuff. You just let us know in the feedback form. Okay, so we will start now. So I'll stop sharing this screen and then share our class. Okay. So for this class, it won't be, so we'll try to do a few more analysis, but it's basically about sharing our solution, because it is very important that at least we know how to, share our solution. Okay, so just kidding. Yeah, it's very important that we know how to tell our story so that we can have a winning solution, because it's a different thing that you have built a solution, and it's also a different thing that you can communicate what you have built. So, okay. I'm trying to find this now. Right. Okay, great. Please confirm that you can see my screen. Please drop in the chat window if you can see my screen. All right, thank you, Jamil. So we will just proceed. So remember the last time I had the class when we were discussing how to, share our solution. So I'll take off from there. I'll do a few reminders just to remind us of what we have done. So so let me just go back. Remember, for every analysis you do, it saves in your profile. So all the analysis you do will save in your profile, right? Okay, just give me a second. I need to. Okay, so all the analysis you do will save in your profile. Now, how do you find your profile? You just need to come to Africa. You just need to log in, basically. So let's yeah, just in case you don't know how to navigate. Every analysis you do saves as a layer on your profile. So if you're able to log into your account, you will, once you confirm that you're logged in here, so this is showing my name. So I'll go to, let's see if I can go to maps from here. Okay, so I will go to Africa geoportal.map. Right, so this is it. We use this. I hope we're able to cover what we have for today. So it's loading. Yeah, great. So landing page, you confirm that this is your name, your login. You just go to content. It takes you to your own content. So you can see all the analysis you've been doing. You think it's not saving somewhere, it's actually saving somewhere. Even if you just do one analysis, it will save there. So these are all the analyses that we've been doing. So if you remember, the last thing we did was Senegal health types. And I remember I made a copy of it. So we just opened the copy. And then if you remember, we filtered the different amenities, health amenities. So remember, we had doctors. So this is it. So I'll just open in Map Viewer Classic. Remember, we had doctors, pharmacists, dentists, hospitals. So we had these different categories. So we'll just build on that. So the goal is to be able to share our solution. So whatever analysis we are building, we want to be able to tell our story. So we bring the different elements into our story map. So these are all the layers. So I've told this story about the different, so all of them are checked. So if I uncheck them, you can actually see the spread. So we have dentists. The dentists are more clustered around Dakar. Few of them in ears or thighs, So, okay, thank you. And then if we go to doctors, you will see, doctors are much more spread out. And then if we go to doctors are much more spread out. Now, there's an interesting thing we can do with our data set. We are not restricted to working with just the health sites. We can bring other data sources. We call it data triangulation. So it provides much more context to what is happening in a location. It helps you to make a lot of decisions. So with that, you can understand the behavioral pattern. You can say, okay, for example, if you have, so let's go to, clinic. So for example, you have this clinic. You can see that the clinic is sparse in Loga, is sparse in Diobel, and more clustered in Dakar. Another thing you can do is to add population data to this map. You can bring in population data, layer it here, and you can see the population spread. You can also bring building footprint data. So it shows you where there are buildings, because you can see these are the different regions. So that will also give you an idea why there are more clinics here. Probably there are more people living here. So when you layer other data sources, it provides context. You can say, oh, more people are living in Dakar. I'm sure Dakar is an economic hub. So you understand, oh, that's why this is happening. So it provides more context. So we'll be doing that today. And for that, I will be bringing another layer. So I will bring from school. So we want to understand the spread of school. So what we'll be discussing today will be the next best location. How to find, okay, places that need to have health facilities, but they do not have. So how we're going to do that is we're going to bring other layers. So we're going to bring data set of schools in Senegal. So we can see, okay, are there a lot of schools here and then not enough health facilities? So we'll also bring data set of financial institutions. So we'll start with schools. Excuse me. So I will just make my way. Okay, it should be in my download. So let me just find it. So this is my education facility. Okay, so let me pick the zip file instead. So this is my education facility. So I'll just pick it and then I'll import the layer. Yes, so I have my layer now. So I'll go back, add layer. So you can see this, this is our friend here. We want to bring in, so remember these are the different places you can bring in your layer. When you want to bring in layers on your laptop, on your computer, you go to files. When you want to bring in layer from web, maybe from the group, you can click on web. If you want to, and then find your way to your group and then your content, the group content, and pick the data set. So this one is sitting on my desktop. So I will just go back. So I'll pick the next one, which is financial institution. Then we put these two layers. Okay. So we have our layers. I'm not styling yet. So you can see we have, so let me just, I'm not selecting any, I've not selected any of the health facilities. Remember, this is the dentist, doctors, clinic category, hospitals, pharmacy, and this is the general, where I have all of them. So I'm just going to leave all of them out and then leave the education. So if I uncheck the education, you can see the points on the map has reduced. If I check it back, so I'll just style this education separately so we can differentiate the color from that of financial. So we will use, let's see if yellow will be pronounced, or let's use green. Yeah, let's use this green. So this green, so our green now represents the education facilities, while the dark one is now our financial services. Now, so another thing we can do is, okay, Sorry, excuse me. Find my way back to my. Sorry. Okay. So another thing we can do now is, now that we have the three, we now want to know, okay, where are the places that do not have dentists, but then they have a lot of schools, they have a lot of financial service points, because the essence of these other extra data points is to understand the activities going on there. And it is human beings that drive these activities. If there are financial service points there, it means it is human beings that are patronizing them. So it means where they have a lot of activities ongoing and there are not enough health facilities, there's a problem. So I'll just pick maybe dentist layer. So you can see dentist is very sparse, it's almost not even visible. So what we can do is we can buffer. So let's try and buffer. So we can buffer around our education. So that's part of analysis. So we are trying to buffer around these different points of schools. So when we buffer around them, we can now see how many health facilities are within each buffer. So buffer simply means a circumference. So you can choose the distance you want. So for example, you're saying 5 kilometers within the school. So within 5 kilometers, can you find a health facility? So that's what buffer does. So you want to buffer a certain distance, then you can analyze that buffer and say, okay, what are the facilities, what are the amenities obtainable within that buffer? So you can choose how many kilometers. So we go to summarize. So like you all know, these are the different things you can do under the analysis. So depending on the analysis you want to do. So for this, we're doing summarize. So we'll find, so first we're doing proximity. That's what we're going to create our buffer. So it's asking us, where do we want to buffer? I want to buffer around our education points. So I want to see around each of the education points, what health facilities are within. So we're choosing distance, and then we're choosing 5 kilometers. So you can choose any of these units. I'm choosing kilometers. And then either you want it to overlap or to dissolve. So what overlap means is, because it's going to create circles. Now, do you want those circles to have the complete line, or you want where two circles meet, you should dissolve the line? Where they intersect, you should dissolve the line. So I'm going to pick dissolve, because dissolve makes it look better instead of having circle, 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 because some of them would definitely overlap. So I'll choose to dissolve. And then this will be my resulting layer that I'll be picking. And then you see this tiny use current map extent. If I have this check, it means this is just the map that is being viewed is the extent that this buffer analysis will be done. But if I uncheck, it means I want it to be applied on the whole of the layer that I'm working on, not just the part that is, that is within the map view. So I've unchecked it and I'm running my analysis. So we just wait for it to run. Sorry about the notification sounds you're getting. It's work related. Okay, so it's loading. So it's creating it as a layer. And remember where we started from. This layer is going to be saved somewhere on my content. As soon as it creates it, it's going to come here to save. So always remember that when you're doing all your analysis, know that it's going somewhere and saving for you. So you can always go back to your personal content and delete the ones that you don't need again. You can say I have a lot. So I'll take my time. Some I even duplicate. I'll take my time and delete, a lot of them. So go back to our map. And then you can see it has created buffers. So remember the black is now having a dark blue shade because there is a lighter blue layer on it. So I'll just call it the dark blue is the financial service points, and the light green is our schools. Now we want to know inside each of these 5 kilometers, how many dentist points are there? So let's check dentist. So you can see, okay, so let me restyle dentist. Let me give it a shouty color so that we can see where it is. Good to feel. What color can we give it now? We need a blinding color. Okay, so let's use red. Let's use red. So yes, we have red. So if I zoom in a bit more, you will see we have, okay, another thing I can do, I can make it bigger. So let me make it bigger. So let me make the symbol size bigger. So that, okay. So you can see we have just how many dentist sites in all of these buffers to serve all these people. So I made it bigger, that's why it's looking that big. You can see some of these areas, there are no dentists. So if someone here is having this problem, they have to move all the way to this place to access a dentist. Remember, it's dependent on the data set we're working with. So you can see all of these. So it's not serving all this population. And even in buffers where we have a lot of, schools and financial services clustered, you can see there's a lot of activities going on here, but they don't have dentists to serve them. So that is what buffer does for you. You can bring in external data points and buffer, within a certain distance to understand the economic activity going on there and say, okay, why do we not have enough of this? So I think I made this my dentist guy too big. Let me reduce it. It can still be this distracting. So I'll just leave it there. Okay, I think this is manageable. So but the story remains the same. So that's for dentists. We can uncheck dentists now and check doctors. So our doctors have the same color. Okay, they don't have the same color. You can see they are light blue when I check them. So we can do the same for doctors by just increasing. So we go to change style. So we can just come here and increase the symbol for doctors a bit. Probably change the color so we can use lemon for our doctors. Yeah, so we can see the doctors that we have. So imagine here within a 5 kilometer radius or even more, because you remember I dissolved the edges. So this is more, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is like 5 kilometers. This is like within 35 kilometers, there are just 2 doctors. That's what this is saying. Within 35 kilometers, there are just 2 doctors. Now, if we remember, so you can do that with all your other points and understand what's going on. And if you remember our story map, so our story map is where you put all your stories together. So let me go and find the story map. So this is my story map. So you can see, like I said, this is where all my contents are. So I still have my story map. So I'll just open it. I can always make edits to it because these are all my layers. Okay. Okay, so I can edit. I can make some edits to my own. So I can configure. So so while you're doing your analysis, you can, be taking screenshots of what you're doing, the areas you want to tell your story. You can take screenshots of them and then tell your stories. You can also do what we call inserts. So insert means for your map that is like this, you can expand this area and bolden it and put it by the side. So we'll do that. I hope time permits us. But for whatever story you're telling, you can take screenshots of it and add to your story map. Remember, for your story map, you can add, so for your story map, you can add pictures, you can add videos, you can even bring in your map. So let's wait for it to load. And then we can. Okay. Configure map. So I'll just, okay, this is another one. This is another one. Let me go back to my content. Oh, okay. I think that's fine. So this is my story map. I was opening the wrong one. Okay, so, oh yes, this is my story map. So I can go to edit story. So because I now have, a new map layer that I want to add to my story, because remember this story map is like a compilation of all your stories. You break it down, bring in all the details, tell all your story, bring in the pictures, bring in layers from your map. So, okay. So here you can insert pictures now. So maybe you have another heading. I don't know why this is taking long to load. Senegal health types. This is the last. This, okay. So you may want to add another heading. Okay, yeah. So let's see. Heading, I want a heading. Subheading, okay, heading. So we can say next best location to cite a health facility in Senegal. So this could come as the last part of your solution. Maybe you're now making recommendations. So you can now insert that. And then you want to add, let's see if we can add map from here. So we can try to go bring in, so these are my maps. I'm trying to find this current one that I'm working on. If I've, okay, I haven't saved it yet. I haven't saved it yet, so let me save it. Let me save it out. Okay. So let me save it as a layer and just call it buffer. Let me just call it cell size buffer so that I can differentiate cell type buffer. Okay. Yeah. So this will save in my content. Okay. So I can go back to my story map. This is not the map I wanted to bring. So I'll just cancel. Now, oh, you can see my new save. So I'll bring in this map. So it's loading. Great. So I can expand this and say, okay, I can build my story around. So for example, I can build my story around fatigue region. So yeah, I just want, okay, yes, legal administrative boundary, yes. So I want this to be visible. I want the education to be visible. I want the financial to be visible, and then the buffer to be visible. So I want to tell my story around fatigue, how there are not enough doctors. So I also leave my, so I let my doctors visible. So I want to tell my story around fatigue. So I leave this map here. Trying to find the right resolution for this map. Okay, so I can just place the map next best location to cite the health facility or to cite or to allocate a doctor. Allocate a doctor. So since we are interested in the doctor now, so you can see it now, then I can, start telling my story of how the green legend indicates doctors, and you can see within the region, we have just 3 doctors. You tell your story. So you go back to your map, do some more analysis, the layer, bring it back to your story map, tell all your story. So whenever you stop, you can just save your story map wherever you stop and rest. And then when you start again, you build your story around it, you take it back there. So there was something else I said I was going to show us again. So that is insert. So we can also do insert and bring it in. So this is still our working map, and I save. So I just save. So one thing is that analysis that you can do for analysis you can do are inexhaustive. So I also encourage you to go to YouTube, go to ArcGIS online, Esri. They have free learning resources, free resources. You can see how to do some other analysis that is tailored towards building your own solution. And then what this story map I'm giving you as an option is doing for you is to basically give you an avenue to build your story. Like I said, you can use PowerPoint. You can just be taking screenshots of all these stories and then, take it to your PowerPoint and build your story. But there's something about story map. You can easily share the link with someone and, they just read your story, how you built your solution, how you've identified the gaps, your recommendation, every single thing, your problem statement, everything can be compiled in your story map, and then you make your submission. So what you need to do with your teammates is sit down and ideate. What do we want to do? You can even do your road mapping. One of my colleagues taught you how to check how to do your road network. So when you're checking, okay, so for example, we have the schools and we have the hospitals. You can check your road network from one school to the, how far each school is to a hospital. So your use case can be quick response to emergency, to health emergency situation. How far are the road networks? So that will mean you have to find data sets on road network and layer it, and then you can see the road network, how it's lined. Are they linked? So what if there's an emergency before you get so you can just build your use case and then find the data set. So like I said, we're going to be sending you mentors. I'll send you a list of mentors. They will help you. They'll point you to all these resources where you can get all those data sets. They'll guide you through. So whatever solution you want to build, however you want to build. So that will take me back to, so we're talking about another way we can visualize our map. So I'll just do what I was describing as inset. So we go to create web map. So you can see we have different things. Can we do each of these configurable apps and see your story map? You can, open one, you see a guideline of how it works, do it and just take a screenshot or however and include it. So if you see the images, you see what each of them is talking about. This one is saying nearby. If you want to do nearby now, you will check the distance. So you'll be needing a road data set for this. This is the inset I was talking about. So let's see how this works. So I can do a preview first before I decide, okay, let's just see what it looks like. So this is an example. So inset is more like, because sometimes you may not be able to tell your story exactly the way it is. So for example, you may just, put your map like this, but you need to expand a particular side. You need to expand this side. There's a lot of data points here, but when you look at it from the, country view, it looks clustered. So you want to do something like this and expand it to see it better. That's where inserts come in. So this is loading. So you can see, I can now bring in this expanded part to expand in this. I can expand another part here. So this is what it will look like. You have one square here, one square. You can have up to 4. You can have another one up here, another one up here. So the different points you want to expand, you can do that. So let's go back and create a set. So I'm not doing preview again. We'll just go straight and do our insert. So go to insert, create web app. So title, what do we call this? Senegal Health Types Expansion. I'm coining this right off my back of my head. So yours, of course, be more thorough. You put a lot of thoughtfulness into how you're putting your title so that, they won't be explained before people can go ahead to read your solution. So you can see it's even giving you steps on how you can get your inserts. So it's saying 1, you have to get your map. So, everything starts with your map. You have to go to your map. You have to, understand what you want to do with your map. You have to do your analysis, whatever you want to do before you now bring it to your configurable app or your instance app. So your map first, the next step is insert, then about interactivity. So we just start, we now have our map, and then select our map. So edit will take you back to your, to edit the details of the map. Then open a map view, I will take you back to the workstation where you're doing your analysis. So I'll just select this map. So this is the one I'm select. Yeah, so select this. So you're saving it to, you check, do you need to make any changes here? Look through, nothing. So you click on next. So I'll just wait for it. Okay. So I'll just click on next. Now this is where I do my insert. This is where I will customize it. So what do? I will add insert. It takes me to the windows to do that. So I'll just wait for my map to load. Now I can zoom in. So I want to expand this part. I want to expand this part. So what I can do now is, so this medium shows the size of this box. So if you want it smaller, if maybe the space you're covering is smaller, you can make it a smaller box. If it's bigger, you can make it large, right? Then you can put your title for that insert. So I'll just say cluster 1. So I can maybe move it because I just want to expand it. So it can be more specific. So this is where I want to expand. And then, okay. So this is what I want to expand. So this may not cover all, but it gives an idea. So I leave this as, yeah. So I'll confirm. So you can see here now is a more expanded version of what we have here. So this is a more expanded version of what we have here. Now this is cluster 1. I can add cluster 2. So I can just add cluster 2, add insert, take it to the place I want to expand. So I can as well do large and do cluster 2. So I'll just do 2 for the sake of time. Then I will expand this. So you can see there's another cluster here. So this is where I want to expand so that I expand it depending on how much expansion I want to make so that it will be contained in my insert. So you can see there's even still a cluster here. So it's up to me to, unfortunately, the insert size cannot be increased more than that. I may just have to make do with what I have and then I confirm. So I have this insert here, right? So I'll just move to the next. So if I want it to have a header, I'll check it and then the headers will come. This cluster 1, this cluster 2. So it also helps your story. So when you're saying cluster 1, it's talking about Dakar. So it helps your story that you have all of these titles. So we move quickly now. So here you can actually place the arrangement of your inserts. Okay, no, this is talking about where you want your pop-up. So do you want to have an introduction panel? If you don't want that, you uncheck it. So you can just check it and see what an introduction panel is. So this is where zoom control, okay, you check, you select all the things you want to be on your insert. Do you want people to be able to find your location? Do you want the search bar to be here? So this is your search bar. So you can search Dakar and it's take you to, so let's see Dakar. So it takes you to Dakar. So do you want to have your search button? So this is where you select it. So we move to the next step. So here you actually decide So here you actually decide the position of your insects. So you can decide where what is. So this is top left. You know, top left to be here. So do you want to move cluster 1? Where's my cluster 1? Okay, so insect 1, let's see. You want to move it to, yeah, so this is my cluster 1. You want to move it here so that it will be closer to this. So it's up to you, or you can bring it down and then have your map down here so that you can take cluster 2 to that position. That will be top left. So you take insect 2 there so that it will be closer to this other one. Now, what you can do is at this point, you can snipe this screen. So we're almost running out of time. You can snipe this screen, take it to PowerPoint, put your arrow, do all the, all the extra design. You can point an arrow from here to here. You can point 2 arrows to show an expansion, or no, you point it from here to here, 2 V arrows to show that from here to here, this is the expansion. You can also point from here to here. So you can do a snipe of this screen, take it to PowerPoint, do your edit, and then bring it back to your story map where you're talking about whatever you're talking about, an expansion. If you look closely, this is this or that is that. So these are all the elements that will make your, that will add flavor to your story map. There's a lot of other options you can also explore, a whole lot of other options. So for this, you can publish this as an insert, as a standalone, because remember this is an instant app. You can publish it as a standalone, instant app. So you have your find, so someone can easily find their location and go there because you've put all these extra data points for them. So they can find Dakar and see what's going on in Dakar. So that will also mean that you have to, at the points, I think you may go back and select a legend so that it should guide them to have a legend. So they know, okay, the green is doctor. So they understand what's going on in Dakar. So you can publish this as, I don't want to publish again, I've published it before. You can publish this as, you just need to click publish. Publish it as a web app that you can share the link and people can just, this is an insert, they can see what's going on. Or you can take a screenshot. You can make, if you feel this is too big, you can reduce the size, use this a smaller insert size, take a screenshot of this, take it to PowerPoint, put arrow, point arrow from here to here, beautify your story, save it, and then bring it back to your story map and say, okay, this is an expansion of this area, this is what it looks like. So your story map is the consolidation of all your stories. You can also do that story on your web app or your PowerPoint. If you can also build an instant app or a web app, a simple web app design. If you have a software developer in your team, you can quickly put that together for you. But remember that anywhere that has login details, you have to insert it in your solution. If not, the reviewers will not be able to review if they have, it's asking for password or any of those things. So that'll bring us to the end of our class today. So yes, we've learned, the past 3 weeks have been very enlightening. I'm sure some of us didn't even know what geospatial analysis was before now, and even how they can, and even those of us that know probably did not know that something like Africa Geoportal platform existing where you can do all this analysis. Because for a standard ArcGIS online account, you will need to have an organization account to use it. If you don't have an organization account, you'll not be able to do all of this analysis. But on Africa Geoportal platform, you have credits that is assigned to your account, and you can request. You can just go to the support and see the email address. If you exhaust your credits, you can make requests. But the good support they've given us for this hackathon is that they've given everybody in our group extra 100 credits. So when you sign up, you have 100 credits, but they've given everybody in the group extra 100 credits so that at least before you exhaust it, you would have had a lot of time. And then even if you exhaust, you can still make a request. And outside that group, if you're just using the platform and you exhaust your credits, you can write a mail to them and they will, replenish your credits. And they've also been very gracious to give us desktop license as well. It's a big deal. To have ArcGIS Pro license is a big deal. It's very expensive for people that know. So they gave us those ones for free as well so that we can do advanced analytics. Because the desktop version, you can do much more advanced analytics. So I'm just going to, I may not be able to share it. So you do much more advanced analytics on your desktop version. So you can also move your work to your desktop version. You see where to import your web layer. So if you ask you whether you want to go to the web and bring in your layer and continue your analysis. Okay, so let me see if we have questions. We don't have questions today. So you said I haven't access to this platform. So yes, there's a link for you exactly. So just sign up, join the group, and it will be good. I don't know if Abel has anything to say. I'll just hand over to him now to share his screen. And let me see if he's even able to share screen because he was having issues. Okay, so I doubt he's able to share screen. Okay, so I will just share again. So I hope we've had a nice time learning. Ask your questions. Our Telegram group is still there, it's open. Ask your questions. So the discussion is now going to move from learning-based questions like, I don't have license, I've not received the email for the ArcGIS Pro license. I've not been able to join the group. It will now change to, this is the solution I'm trying to build. What do you think? Can we do this? Who is willing to join my team? Let's build a solution, because now we've moved from learning to the hackathon solution building. Of course, you can still ask your questions around the classes. You can still ask your questions around technical issues, and even members in the group can also help. Government open data. Okay, someone is asking a question. Please, can one make use of government open data for the Sure. You are at liberty to use any open source data set that you have. You are at liberty. If it's going to enrich your solution, it's going to add flavor to your solution, you are at liberty to use it. Just like I brought in data for financial points and that of schools. You would think it has nothing to do with it, but no, if you need to, you can use it. If you need to bring it, by all means. What we want is a very strong solution. You make a very strong case, on why you've done your research. You've also brought in other data sets to enrich your solution. So why not? You can. So just, chill till it's 12 p.m. on the dot. So if anyone has questions, they can still ask, and we can still answer within our time frame. So thank you for joining. Thank you all so much for taking our time to join the classes. Even though it's been, we prepared the content, we went through the pain to assemble all these data sources for you. By the end of the day, there wouldn't be any classes if there were no people to attend, and learn and ask questions. So thank you so much for being part of this Geospatial Mobility Data for Health Solutions in Africa hackathon. And we look forward to all the exciting solutions you will build. We can't wait to see it. We can't wait to see you build solutions for your local community. Like I said, you don't need to reinvent the wheel or do something big. I mean, you can if you want to, but there are solutions within your local community that you can look around and say, you can also take pictures of places in your environment that you feel these factors contribute to illnesses in your environment. Maybe there is there are stagnant waters in your area, or you live close to a swamp, or there are sewages that are spoiled in your area. You can take pictures of this and upload in your story map, and make a strong case as to why there has to be more health facilities in your location using all these data. And it's also very, very important that you add Facebook mobility data sets. So add it to your solution, check the attribute table, see what insights you can get from it. Make sure you build your solution around the Facebook mobility data. So this is exactly 12 p.m. And on that note, I will say thank you so much for joining today's class. And our next conversation will be taking place on the Telegram group, where we'll be talking everything about hackathon. So the class officially ends today. Thank you for being a part of it, and do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.